Hey everybody, it's Roamin Rich. Good to see you. It's episode number 23. 23 episodes of 66 minutes featuring Roamin Rich and Route 66. 23 episodes in a row, as a matter of fact. I keep thinking something's going to take me out one of these days and I'm not going to be able to do it. But somehow, God willing, I just keep putting these things out here. And thank you all for watching and participating every week and being there to be here for the show. So for those that have never seen the show before, it's 66 minutes. We talk about Route 66 and all things related. It's an interactive show. I give an opportunity many times to allow people to chat. We'll do a chat overlay sometimes. And in the case of tonight, we're actually going to open up the party lines, the studio, so to speak, to allow our viewers to participate directly in studio, which means if you have a webcam, if you have a microphone, if you have a smartphone, you can click on a link here that I'm going to provide in just a second, and you can join me right here in studio and broadcast with me. And so for those of you who are watching, be thinking about, what kind of questions and other things you may want to ask tonight. Anything. I don't have anything planned really, other than the agenda that I usually have, which is the shirt of the week and tips of the week and stuff like that. So be ready with your questions. I am going to post the link. So right here, you see that QR code. That's your ticket. That's your ticket to join the Facebook group right now. But just a moment, and we're going to put a different code up there. And there it is, right there. So if you want to join right there, you want to join the live show, click on that link, and that'll bring you right here into the studio. I'll see you. And if I like you, I'll let you in. All right, everybody. Let's get going with the show. All right. How's your summer going, everybody? I mean, mine has just been busy. Somehow my brain is probably still back in like 2018, like 5 years ago. Time just flies by. And I was warned of this in my early to mid 20s from people that were in their 40s and 50s. Once you surpass the age of 25, things begin to accelerate out of control and just doesn't seem to ever slow down. So, but my summer's been going pretty well. Been getting a lot done out the Shamrock. We've been getting a lot done with the Missouri Route 66 Association, and it's just been an action-packed year. So it's exciting. I hope your year is going very well too. I'm looking forward to getting a few more things done before summer's out. Before we know it, here in the United States, the snow will be flying. It'll be no time at all. So, all right. The comments are already popping in. Love to see that. Thank you, all you guys out there, for participating. Yes, we are taking guests tonight. The link is right there. I'd like to see some new people on tonight. So if you've been on before, leave an opportunity for those that haven't participated, because I want to like get some new blood in here. So don't be shy. I'll take you by the hand, and I promise I won't embarrass you very much, but we'll have a good time. So feel free to jump in on the show, and we'll have a good time. You know, I'm looking at the feed. I see Stephen Joseph Henson, and I haven't seen that fella in a long time. I ran into him there at the Laclede, Lebanon Laclede Route 66 Society meeting that we went to a few months back, but I hadn't seen him much on Facebook. So that's a good name and a good face to see out there. So thanks for tuning in tonight. I hope you all share, and let's get going. I've talked long enough. All right. So first thing up is the shirt of the week, and I'll have to pop it up here in just a second. So give me just a moment, because I got to tell you, I don't have the Georges with me tonight, so I'm producing everything myself. And so I'll get right to it here. Give me just a moment, and I'll pop it up here, and I'll share my screen. Shirt of the week. Let's see where we're going here. Oh, there it is. Shirt of the week. There it is. Okay. I've had this shirt for a long time. This is the Missouri 66 Show Me the Glow shirt. And I've had this, I think, for about 13 or 14 years. This shirt was designed by Jerry McClanahan. Most of you know who he is. He's a very notable artist and author on Route 66, most famous for the Route 66 Easy Guide. And anyway, he designed this shirt some time ago, and this is the result. I've had this shirt for a long time. He did this for the Missouri Route 66 Association, Neon Preservation Committee, Neon Preservation and Heritage Committee. So that's the shirt I'm wearing tonight. I hope you like it. I've had it for a long time. I don't get to wear it too much. It's a little bit smaller on me than it used to be, but it still fits. It's still fitting. Vic Valdez is wanting to know where the link is. If you scan that QR code up in the corner, you will that'll take you to the link. You can also find the link in the Facebook group, so be sure to check it out there. The Facebook group also has the link if you'd like to join us tonight. And I don't have anybody in line yet for the studio, so I'm looking forward to anybody just popping in there. Would love to have you on here. Let me get going into something else here. I need to get something else set up. Got all sorts of things cooking. I know we're going to do this later on in the show. One of the segments that we just kind of started doing a few weeks ago, which is called "Where's Roamin Rich?" And nobody got this. I was really surprised. Nobody got this one, and I'm really excited to tell you about it. So you got a few more moments to go through and look at 66 Minutes on the Facebook group. We have that group for everyone to join and participate and chat and do all that good stuff. But nobody has guessed correctly where the image was taken. I had some really good guesses, but that's okay. So anyway, all right. We covered the shirt. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention about said shirt. Let me pop it up here. This shirt I'm kind of wearing it right now. This was a fundraiser shirt trying to gain some donations for a particular project we had. I forget which one it was back then. It might have been the Luna Cafe or something. But for those of you watching tonight, I'm going to give you a sneak peek. You can click on this QR code over here to that side. There it is. And that'll take you to the Web City Florist sign. We have a green light. We've raised enough money to restore that sign. There will be a relighting ceremony. I haven't published this yet, so those of you out there right now are just now learning about it firsthand for the first time. Nobody else knows about this. October 21st in Web City, Missouri is where we're going to be doing this relighting ceremony. We're going to be unveiling this beautiful old neon sign on a very, very little known segment of Route 66. Most people don't even realize that this is a section of Route 66. And as we get closer to that relighting, I'll end up sharing with you all in some subsequent episodes after this one. We get into October, I'll share with you some of the hidden sections and pieces of Web City that a lot of people aren't aware of. There's a couple little things, little nooks and crannies of orphan sections. There's even one in somebody's backyard. And that's the one I really want to show you. But we'll cover that as we get closer to that relighting ceremony. That way, if you decide to join us, you can maybe go look for some of this stuff on your own. Anyway, okay. Web City Florist neon sign. I'm very proud to tell you all we're going to be doing that restoration. The Missouri Route 66 Association gathered up funds through Facebook from people just like you that graciously donated. We raised somewhere over $5,000. So it wasn't the association. It was Route 66 community members like yourself that donated to this cause and helped us make it happen. And I'm very thankful for your help. And Courtney Smith, who is the owner of the Web City Florist, she is very thankful as well. She's a very young business owner. She bought the place out just a couple of years ago. She's in her early 30s, and she was really wanting to restore that sign. I really wanted to restore it for her. And through your help, we made it happen. and we're going to see it October 21st. Okay, nobody's signing in yet. I'm surprised. So I'm going to take that off the screen. Thank you for scanning those codes. That video there, if you scan that, you can go back and watch these videos later. You can always scan those codes. That'll take you to a little quick documentary I did featuring Courtney Smith, the owner of the Web City Florist, and basically what we were trying to do there. So it's just a quick video. I don't know, 5 minutes long, I think. That'll help you get some idea of what the Web City Florist is all about. It's a good functioning business right on Route 66. Great to support. Okay, I'm going to go back to, I took down the chat overlay. Wish I wouldn't have done that. Let's bring it back up and see if there's any cool questions in here. Let me go back and look. A lot of people saying hello. Hello out there, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. And we've got one person who's tuned in just now. I'll bring it up in just a second. Oh, we got 2, 3. Oh my gosh. They came in all at one time. Wow, this is crazy. It's going to be like a big giant panel. You know, this will be fun. So I got 2 people on deck. I actually got 3, but the third person, their video isn't working. So hopefully she'll pop back in here in just a second. But I'm going to bring out 2 very special people. I'm glad to see them both. We have Mr. Nolan Stoltz and Joe Sonderman. Hey, guys.
Hey, does this work?
Yeah, it's working. Somebody's going to have to turn their audio down, though. Otherwise, we're going to get some feedback.
There we go. It was probably me.
Yeah.
Since I'm learning new technology.
I've got it in your monitors in.
Okay, so let me break this panel open a little bit. There, that's better. Is that better? Yeah, it's better. So, how's it going, guys? Did you guys both orchestrate this and plan it out?
No, Liz got me on. Liz
is on too, but her video isn't working. It's probably your internet connection or something.
Yeah, Liz Olwig said, "Do you want to come on with Rich?" And I never have before because I'm scared of technology.
Oh, come on now.
But
now,
here I am.
Joe Sonderman, back your camera up just a little bit, Joe. There you go. Joe Sonderman has had a long tenured career in the broadcasting industry, so he shouldn't be too scared of a lowly subject like Roamin Rich.
No. Besides, I saw you yesterday at the Missouri 66 meeting, so you know.
We had a great meeting, didn't we?
Yeah, we had a great meeting. It got a little rowdy at the end. It was fun.
Well, yeah, didn't have to bounce anybody, but we're not above that. Nolan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I only have about 1 more week left or so here in Missouri before I go back to South Carolina.
Going back to South Carolina. Tell us where you're at right now, Nolan, and tell us what your agenda is.
Yeah, right there is the Gasconade River, but north of our favorite bridge, sort of by Bell, Missouri, and Lynn and that sort of area. It's an artist residency, and I'm here. You can see my studio. I got a keyboard and stuff set up. So I'm getting inspiration from Route 66 and writing music based on it. So
yeah, for those of you that don't know Nolan, he has been researching for some years now Route 66, and he's putting together. He's composing some sort of a symphony, correct?
Yeah. Be about an hour-long piece for orchestra.
Tell us about that a little bit. How's it going?
It's okay. I just have little bits and ideas here and there. I came up with something inspired by the La Cita sign in Tucumcari. They renovated it. It turns and all the bulbs go around. So I've been working on that. And you can see I've got my screen that
turned
way.
in portrait mode, yeah.
Yeah, because the size of orchestra music is 11 by 17. And so if you've got all those instruments, so just to be able to see them all at once. So that's what I've been working on. So that movement will be called Neon Dreams, inspired by, I've got my Shamrock shirt, of course, that neon as well. So yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. That's a special shirt because you had to order that through our campaign. So thanks for the support. Um,
Absolutely.
so Joe, what can I say about Joe? Joe is a machine. This guy churns out more relevant content in one day than most people can churn out in a month. This guy like writes books in his sleep and just does all sorts of stuff. He puts out a magazine for the Missouri Route 66 Association every month, and just one heck of an editor and publisher, and just full of creativity.
Don't you hate
Although,
people who take their hobbies and just run them into the ground?
yeah, yeah, we Joe and I are always messing with each other. We're always prodding each other, wondering how either of us gets any sleep. And I think Joe's got me beat, to be honest.
I don't know.
Well, some people think we don't do enough, though.
Yeah, I've heard that recently, but I don't see how I can. I'm on my 18th book now, and that'll be out in September.
Literally 18.
18th book on Route 66. It'll be out in September. It's Route 66 St. Louis style. It's an updated version of the book we first did some 20 years ago about St. Louis, and we've all learned so much in the past 20 years that I thought, man, I better redo this and get it updated, and to be perfectly honest, make some corrections based on things we've learned. And people like Nolan and people like Jim and Jerry and everybody that have been researching all the research that's been done since then. So it's time to take another crack at that. So that's the current project.
I can't wait.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm gonna bring on another guest. We're gonna crowd in here. It's gonna be like sardines. So there's Elizabeth Ulwig.
Whoa. Hey, how's it going?
Good. So Elizabeth works with the Route 66 Association. She's one of our main events coordinators. Not only that, but she's a tireless volunteer. She does all sorts of stuff for the Route 66 Association. How's it going?
I am doing good today. How are you?
Busy, but I'm glad to have you all here. So for the viewers out there, I'm still seeing your questions in the chat. I don't really have enough room to stick the chat overlay on here. Otherwise, it's going to really, I can try it. Let's see what happens here. Let's see. That's not too bad. So we're still taking questions and stuff. I have to move my face over just a little bit. Okay. Oh, there's a good question. Any discussion on Route 66 around Tulsa? Thinking about heading to Texas this winter and swinging through Tulsa area first. Now, that's a pretty broad question. I'll go first, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. I think Tulsa is awesome. I've often recommended it to people for a good place to live, and we'll talk to Elizabeth about that in a second because she's one of them. But I think for as long as I've been doing Route 66, Tulsa has nearly done a 180 in its efforts to revitalize its community in a whole, not just Route 66. What do you guys think? And I'll go with Elizabeth first.
I love Tulsa. I thought it was a great place. And yeah, I remember the day that you just told me when I was looking for somewhere to go, you're like, oh, just move to Tulsa. So they have just done incredible things on Route 66 in Tulsa. And I was talking to Reese a couple weeks ago, and he said, like, the amount of progress they've done since I moved back last year, I'm like,
Move back to St. Louis.
yes. I'm stunned at how much work they continue to do. Like,
what do you guys think? Nolan, Joe, do you have any recent encounters in Tulsa?
I was just there a couple of weeks ago for the AAA Road Fest, which was a huge event and a huge success. And I had never spent much time in Tulsa, and I was floored and how much there is to do. One of the coolest things about Tulsa is the amount of Art Deco architecture that they have preserved and they have saved. In cities like St. Louis, where I'm from, for example, we have torn down so much. Tulsa, they're rehabbing 11th Street. They're putting neon lights up and down 11th Street. You've got Buck Adams Curios that has gone in there. That is a unique place with their giant muffler man dressed up like an astronaut now. You've got all the neon signs that they put down on the riverfront now. Tulsa has got their stuff together, and I'm jealous. I'm from a city where Route 66 kind of gets sidetracked a little bit, and I am really jealous. I'm really happy with what Tulsa's been doing. You should be very, very proud of what you're doing down there.
Nolan, what do you think about Tulsa?
Every time I go there, there's something new or something different to try out. I probably spent 15, 16 days overnight there the past 2 years. And I would go and shoot neon and then, drive to LA and come back and there's a new neon sign. Take a picture of that and so on. And the Greenwood Museum opened up, the Black Wall Street. That's incredible. There's the Circle Cinema right off of Route 66, the original alignment, and 1928. They have the original 1928 organ. They got it back. And once a month, they show a silent film and they have a musician playing the organ live with the movie. So I timed my last trip to be able to be there on a particular Saturday morning to hear and see that.
Which theater is that? Maybe Nolan, you could go into the Facebook group and provide some details on that, because I'm intrigued, and I know everybody else would be. I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, Circle Cinema, 1928. I'll put the info in. Yeah. That was a changing time in this country. It seemed like 1926 through 28, there was a lot of activity and a lot of growth and things like that going on in this country. My family and we just got back a few days ago. We went to Belleville, Illinois to watch a movie at a drive-in movie theater. And most people would never expect this, but it routes you through East St. Louis, which most people understand it as a scary town. I understand it as a ghost town, essentially. And at midnight, I took my whole family down the middle of East St. Louis, and I showed them the Majestic Theater, which is built about the same time. And it's such a sad sight, but also seeing the Majestic Theater in East St. Louis, it's pretty neat to see it, because it really provides a glimpse into our past as to what we were doing 100 years ago. It's far different than what we're doing today. So, if you could provide those details, I would be really interested. Tulsa's. I'm glad whoever asked that question asked it, because I could never say enough about Tulsa, or even Oklahoma in general. I mean, Oklahoma itself, the state has just been on fire for Route 66, and now all of a sudden there's this talk and banter about different various people that came from Disneyland, Disney, and the Imagineers are going to start this new amusement park outside of Oklahoma City, I think, if I heard correctly. You guys hear about that?
Yeah.
Veneta, it's where, yeah.
It's going to be in Veneta?
Yeah.
Wow.
Hard to imagine, but yeah.
That's going to transform Veneta.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the new Midwest Orlando. Okay. Let me see what else we got here for questions. I do have another person here that's in studio that has joined. I don't know if I can get him squeezed in or not here. We'll give it a shot in just a second. Someone did bring up the theme park. Let's see here. Circle Cinema. Somebody says stop in at Bartlesville and check out the Frank Phillips Mansion in Woolaroc. Phillips 66 was founded there. So, yeah, Bartlesville. I don't know if I've been through Bartlesville. I've been through a lot of different places in Oklahoma, but I don't know if I've been there. Have you guys been through Bartlesville at all?
Never been there.
Okay.
Add it to the list.
Well, I tell you what, Steven was on. His screen went blank. I'll wait for him maybe to come back. In the meantime, Let's see here. We're 25 minutes in. Did you guys, any of you, Joe, Nolan, Elizabeth, did you guys see by chance my Where's Roamin Rich picture on the 66 Minutes Facebook group page?
I could not figure out where that was. Is that an older picture?
It was from 2018.
I'm wondering if it's 20. Okay.
It was from 2018. So give me just a second, and I'm going to pop it up here. Let's see, I'm going to try it right now.
Is it still standing? Can you tell us that?
I don't know 100% for sure, but there's the image. I'm going to go full screen with it so people can see. There's the image. And it wasn't my first choice. I had one chose out of Missouri, and I thought it was going to be too tough. I thought somebody for sure was going to come up and nail me on this one. And there was a lot of good guesses. There was Meteor City Trading Post. Somebody said near Grants, Ella's Frontier, which is in Arizona, another Meteor City. And then one person says, I think I know this one, but didn't come up with any sort of answer. So any guesses from you guys?
Western Museum in Santa Rosa?
He got it. Oh, my God.
Wow.
I cannot believe it, Joe.
Wow.
Who brought the ringer in tonight?
I just recognized the shape of the ruins. That's all. Because just the shape of that one little corner there that had the ruins. Wow.
Well, I tell you what. So I talked with Jerry McClanahan. To be honest, I did not know the name of this place. You know, I take a lot of pictures, but I don't profess to know everything. That's for sure. So I called Jerry McClanahan tonight, and I discussed with him this place, and he, of course, he knew right where it was. Right? He already knew. He was like, "Oh yeah, I know that place, Rich." And so he says, this is from Jerry McClanahan. He visited it back in the early 1990s, about 1992. It was closed down. It was still, I guess, inhabited. It was still a building, and it still had a bar back, he said. It looked like it was from the Old West, and there was some old guy kind of living next to it who was a caretaker. And so he had firsthand knowledge of it when it was still a building. Joe's got the postcard pulled up. I'm actually going to do you one better, I think, Joe, if I can get it to pop up on my screen. Let's see here. I'm a little unprepared because I don't have the Georges here, but I'll get it. Let's see. I'm going to share that image of what it looked like back in the postcard. There it is. Okay, we'll go full screen again. There it is.
That's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what it looked like before. And I had no idea. Actually, I'm going to show people where I got that image from. If you're interested in learning about the Frontier Museum and Bar, you can go to Blue Miller's blog post site. And that's where I learned from it, or learned about it a little bit. And I'll post that right here just so you guys understand where I'm getting the information from. Blue Miller is like this tireless researcher that goes and finds all sorts of stuff and provides a major history on everything that she can find. Just a wealth of information. She does a great job. So, give her a shot. Take a look at that. Blue Miller, Never Quite Lost is the blog. So check her out, and you'll see the various information on here. It's very informative. And she shows some other pictures of it in the gas station that resides next door. And good stuff there. Old neon sign. I got a picture of that myself, and there's the postcard. So check that out. I'm going to bring in another guest here in just a moment. Thank you all for participating in the Where's Roamin Rich segment. I will be sure to pop up another image later on, probably tomorrow. We'll do that. So let me bring in another guest. Let's see, we'll bring everybody else back here. Stephen Joseph Henson. Let's see. There you are, sir. Yeah, how's it going, buddy?
It's good here in Lebanon.
Yeah. So what brings you to the show?
I don't know, just enjoying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's new in Lebanon? What's going on down there in Lebanon, Missouri?
Um, they've been doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Town's growing, I know that.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you on here. Did you have any questions or any tips or anything tonight?
I don't know, not offhand.
Okay. Well, I've got another question here, and it says it's from Retro Adventures. They're on YouTube, and they're asking how many of you have met Michael Wallace? If so, what was he like? And do you know how he's currently doing? And who wants to go first? Who's met Michael Wallace?
I think we all have, huh?
Well, I have for sure. Elizabeth,
I have.
Nolan,
Yes, I have.
No.
Steven, have you met Michael Wallace?
I don't know if I have or not.
Okay. Well, Michael Wallace is, gosh, what is he most known for? I mean, he's a narrator. He's a famous author. He wrote, what was it, on Route 6? What was the name of it, Joe? Here we are on Route 66.
Route 66, the Mother Road.
That's right. Route 66 to
Yeah.
Mother Road. That's right.
And that was the book that got me started. If it
That's what
wasn't
got
for
you
Michael
started. All
Wallace-
right. Well, tell us a little bit about that, Joe.
Okay. If it wasn't for Michael Wallace, I probably would never have found Route 66. It was because after reading his book and it piquing my curiosity that I went out to explore it in the first place, because that's how the man writes. He was that inspirational. And any Route 66 author that has come after Michael Wallace, I don't care what you do, you owe Michael Wallace. The man single-handedly invented writing about Route 66, his prose. I see a lot of authors who think they write like Michael Wallace, but they don't, and that includes myself. And I call him, he's our Yoda. He's our Yoda because he inspired a lot of us, and he is the reason a lot of us are here today.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Elizabeth, what's your take on Michael?
I've met him once, and I don't even remember which event I met him at, but I don't have like a super soft memory like Joe does. I just remember him being a very nice person, and I was very grateful to meet him, but I don't have anything special to share. That's I just know just what Joe said I would agree with. Just his when Michael Wallace wrote his book, that's like what brought about the resurgence of interest in Route 66. And
Definitely.
so
Well, I have had the privilege of knowing Michael for a long time. I first met him in 2011. I was really a nobody at that point. He did sign the hood of the Route 66 adventure truck in 2011 at the Amarillo International Festival, and he was very warm. He greeted me very nicely. And ever since then, if I've ever needed to talk to him or reach out to him, he's always been there to talk to me and support my endeavors and everything that I do for Route 66. And he's always been a very, very positive force for Route 66. But as an author, as a narrator, he just you can't beat the man's charismatic character. You know, he did have a small role in the Cars movie as the voice of the sheriff. But if you ever listen to some PBS stories or anything that he's narrated, he does a fantastic job in providing that overtone that really gives you a sense of whatever the message is he's trying to drive home. He's a fantastic narrator. What happened to Elizabeth? Did you cut yourself out, Elizabeth? Let's see here. Oh, there you are. Was that a fluke, or did you do that?
I turned my Wi-Fi off, and so
Okay. Well, let's see here. Nolan, didn't ask you. Did you ever meet Michael? Did you ever have any interactions with him?
No, I have not. I hope someday he'll write another book. Do you think he'll ever do something?
I don't know. He is Michael is he is on the Centennial Commission at the federal level. So I would imagine he's got his hands full with that because they have got a daunting mission at the federal level. They've got to raise funds for the Centennial Commission. They are not funded, and so he's also part of the Route 66 Federation. Michael's done a lot. I mean, I'm not saying he would rest on his laurels, but he's done enough for the road to last a lifetime, I think.
Right.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to go back to my chat and see where we're at here. Okay. So I've got more guests. I've got John and Elizabeth from Indiana again in the waiting room. I'll bring them out here in just a second. Nolan, Joe, Stephen, Elizabeth, anything you guys have on your mind about Route 66? Any events? What's going on?
Elizabeth could probably talk more about this, but our motor tour is coming up, the Route 66 Association of Missouri. So we want to take time to invite everybody to come to that and to come join us in Missouri. Elizabeth can fill you in on that.
Yeah, Joe and I were just driving the first day of our route last week and nailed our timing. So we invite people to, we are full right now, but we invite people to sign up on our waiting list because there are bound to be spots opening up. It's September 15th, 16th, and 17th, and it's going to be lots of fun. So go to Missouri66.org/events, and you can get put on our waiting list. We've got all of our funds from this year's motor tour are going towards the preservation of the Gasconade River Bridge. And we also have our t-shirt campaign is going on right now as well. And we are, I think, 5 shirts away from hitting our goal. So.
Well, keep telling us about that a little bit, and I'll see if I can find that link. Now, she's talking about the Route 66 motor tour for Missouri. Anybody can buy a shirt. You don't have to be on the motor tour. If you like the shirt or you want to support the Missouri Route 66 Association and get a cool souvenir to boot, buy a shirt. You don't have to be a participant, and you can buy one of these shirts anywhere in the world. I'm going to see if I can find that real quick and provide that to you. So what else, what all is a motor tour? Tell us what we're doing on the motor tour.
Well, let's see. The main things we're doing on the tour this year is what we're starting in Litchfield, Illinois. The night before the tour, the Skyview Drive-In in Litchfield is offering a complimentary drive-in movie. I think they're showing Grease, so that's going to be awesome to all of our motor tour participants. And then that Friday, what I'm most excited about is we are doing a riverboat cruise down by the Arch. We will also be visiting on Saturday, the 16th, the Museum of Transportation, and having a large picnic out at the Red Cedar Inn in Pacific, as they are going to be reopening again next month. And that's where we started last year. So people saw them at the very, very beginning of their restoration project, and now they're going to get to see like the before and after. It's going to be very, very cool.
Tell me a little bit more about the riverboat thing. How did that come about? How did we come up with that idea?
Well, I know lots of people like visiting the Arch. A friend of mine does tours on the riverboats through our job at the Missouri History Museum. And she told me that would be a fun thing to do. So it's a 2-hour cruise up and down the river, discussing the history of the city and pointing out just sights to see. And I personally have not been on one probably since I was a teenager. So I'm looking forward to it.
I've never been on one other than the Goldenrod in St. Charles when it was there, and it didn't go anywhere. It just sat there. So
Oh, I love the Goldenrod.
yeah, I did find the shirt. There it is. There's the QR code if you want to check it out. The 2023 annual Missouri Route 66 Motor Tour T-shirt. Doesn't let me blow it up for some reason, but there's a multitude of colors and sizes and styles. If you like V-necks and all that stuff, there's a lot of stuff there. So we just have a few more to go before we reach our goal. And like I said before, you don't have to be a participant on the motor tour. You can buy one of these just as a souvenir to help support the Missouri Route 66 Association. And that money that we bring in all goes towards like preservation projects like neon and buildings and things like that. We're always trying to find places to stick the money. And we don't just stop at Missouri. We also go into other states like Illinois, Kansas, and Oklahoma as well and try to help out our neighbors. So if you're interested in that, check it out. And if you're interested in becoming a member, you can do that as well. Just click on that QR code or go to Missouri66.org, and that'll get you onto our website, and you can sign up to become a member there. Hey, Stephen, I appreciate you coming out tonight. Is there anything else you would like to tell everybody that's out there? Any recommendations or tips or anything?
Just come to Lebanon to shop at some of the businesses.
Just stop at Lebanon, check out the museum. They got one of the best museums on Route 66, probably the best museum in Missouri, period, dedicated to Route 66. Tell everybody at Laclede. What's that, Stephen?
And stop and check out the Mungamoss.
Yeah, please stop and check out the Mungamoss, and hopefully you'll get to stop and visit with Ramona while you're there. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, man. Thanks for being on tonight. I'm going to bring on another guest.
Okay.
I'll see you down the road, man.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Rita's not waiting, is she?
Rita's not waiting. No, I don't have Rita there. It's John and Elizabeth. I'm going to let them come in here in just a little bit. There's a couple of questions to see here. Rita's coming, it looks like. She did say in the comments in the chat. I wish it would bring up the chat in the past. Rita was wanting to know if Nolan or Steven will be on the motor tour. Nolan?
Yeah, once I get back to South Carolina, I'm going to be hyper focused for 9 months.
finishing your work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's
I do have a question though, just for anyone. So I've been compiling, just going back to look at the places I stayed along, and I was trying to stay in different cities each night. And if I went back to the same city, I tried to stay at a different place. So I have something like 200, no, like it was like 200 days plus 260 days, 154 different places, 107 different cities. So I have this massive list of cities and lodging, and I'd like to share that with folks. So, because I see the same question a lot. Oh, I'm going to be staying in blah, blah, blah. Where should I stay? And I noticed people don't really search for previous posts in Facebook groups. So it would be nice to have this list out there and accessible, just to say, hey, these are places that I've stayed. They're fine. Just to, well, two things. One, for people to try something different, and two, for just to make people feel a little bit more at ease. So I think they're like, ooh, should I stay there? Should I not? So I don't know. If anyone has any ideas how I can get that out there and accessible.
Nolan, where do people best find you at? They best find you on Facebook, or where's the best way people can find you and your work?
To find me and my work, I have a website, nolanstoltz.com. I mean, I could host it on the page, but that just seems like kind of out of, what I do for the website.
Does that look right
I have
there?
a Patreon.
NolanStolls.com.
I don't see it.
Oh, I've got it down below for people to see as a lower third.
Okay, it's not showing up for me.
Okay.
Yeah, his name is spelled correctly. So unless
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys check out Nolan and his work, he's putting together this big, huge musical symphony, all based around Route 66, and it should be really impressive when it gets done. When do you plan on debuting it?
I'd like to have it premiered in 2026 and then make any performances in 2025, like previews, like maybe one movement preview. But I really want to save the any premiere performances for the centennial year. Now, orchestras, they're always fall, spring. So it's got to be either the 26-27 season or the 25-26 season. So depending on timing.
Well, my opinion on the 1926 situation, and it's probably definitely not the popular opinion, is for all intents and purposes, for me, Route 66 really began in 1927. I don't think anybody really saw much of a sign on the commissioned route probably until 1927, even though it was approved and designated in November of 26. I think you'd be hard pressed to see too many signs out there on the road in 1926. I could be wrong, but it just seems like the timing of it, should be 1927. In fact, I've got a cup, a souvenir glass in home that I use all the time that says 1927 to 1997, the 70th anniversary. So what do you guys think about that?
I agree in the sense that, okay, November, December, how many people were actually traveling by car?
You may not like my answer.
I think everybody is entitled to their opinion on this. I wouldn't shame anybody on it. Go ahead, Joe.
I have seen documentation that Missouri had signs up in November of 26.
There you go.
But that doesn't mean your point isn't valid, because I would say most of the route wasn't signed until 27. And heck, in California, they were still calling it the National Old Trails Road into the 30s.
Yes, they were.
You could just throw a dartboard at a calendar. But in Missouri, we did put our signs up right away. As a matter of fact, Missouri had put up signs saying 60.
Yeah, I wondered about that because we were convinced that's what it was going to be.
Yeah, and had to take them down and go with the new 66 one. So you could make an argument either way. That's a great, fun little thing to sit around a campfire some night and talk about.
And I think in any case, you could say the first summer of 66 would be 1927.
Yeah. Again, for all intents and purposes, I go with 1927, but I'm not gonna argue with all the centennial commissioners and stuff like that to push for 27. Although we could probably use an extra year for planning and executing.
Yes. Yeah, but that's a lot of fun.
Could use an extra.
I mean, that's part of what's fun about Route 66 is for so many of these things, there are no hard and fast answers that are carved in stone.
Yeah.
And part of the fun of it is looking into it and discussing it and everything. So you've got a great point.
Well, one thing we have to consider too is, how important was it for people to memorialize a road?
Right.
I'm saying it a lot often where people dig up old photos and thank God for those people that whipped out a physical camera with physical film and took a picture of the most arbitrary and mundane things like a building or a road or a car or whatever. Thank God for those people, because I mean, we don't run around today taking pictures of like Chevy Malibus in front of a Starbucks, do we?
Yes.
Do we?
The thing to think about, though, is how expensive, the difference between now and then is how expensive photography was then.
Exactly.
And
film was a precious commodity. Right.
Yeah. And for these people to have taken a picture of a highway sign, it's one thing now when we've got a cell phone in our pocket and we can just whip it out and take a picture of of whatever. But in 1926, that had to have been a major effort, a major expense. So those people really, really, really did hit the future a great service. They really
Yeah,
did.
I think so. I'm going to bring in some more guests here. We got John and Elizabeth out of Indiana. They join me fairly often. I'll bring them in here in just a second, and I'll get into the next segment here in just a moment. John and Elizabeth, how's it going?
Now you're going to have to. You can only see me. Elizabeth is here, but you've got us in this little teeny weeny.
George isn't
window
here.
there.
I'm doing the best I can, man. I have no control over it. This is how the algorithm works.
Elizabeth is here.
I am here.
She looks like
In
a
fact,
parrot. She's over your shoulder.
She's sitting right behind me this time. Yeah. I don't have an option to put her on camera only this time around because normally she's in another part of the studio. But we did a webcast and rearranged everything. So I put Elizabeth behind me, moved her microphone behind her.
Cool.
But it was I shared it on the 66 Minutes Facebook page. And it's not Route 66. I apologize. I just want to get some viewers and some feedback on what they thought of it. But it's my photos from the last couple of years of Mothman Festival, which is in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, right on the Ohio River. And if you remember your history back into the 60s, the Silver Bridge fell into the Ohio River, killed over 40 people. I forget how many cars dropped. Everybody, you may have seen the movie The Mothman Prophecies with Richard Gere. That's loosely based on, it's kind of a modern rendition of what happened back in the 1960s. But there were a lot of sightings of this creature they called Mothman. Originally, they called it Big Bird. Some newspaper reporter called
I remember
it Mothman.
all that. Yeah. Yep.
And it's a neat place to visit. It's small town USA. The people are very friendly, and you could spend several days there just visiting the area and enjoying it. They've got a lot of murals along the flood wall of the river. There's a historic post there from back, I don't know, 1800s or something. There's just a lot to see there in the area, and you can sit on the the bank and watch the barges go by. So it's a cool area. Took a lot of pictures, and later, if you ever have us go more full screen, I'll show you a little bit about what we're talking about.
Okay.
Well, other than that, I was photographing cyclists. That was what I was up to yesterday. We had the big bicycle race here. It's the Decibel 100. It's a 100-mile gravel race. And
that sounds pretty cool, John.
800 riders. I was their official photographer.
Hey, John.
I took over 5,000 photos. So that's it. That's the update on us.
Cool. Well, and I'm going to cover our next segment, which is the happenings on 66. So hang out there just for a second. I'm going to share my screen. Give me just a moment here.
And I'll have a question if I come back.
We'll go right into that. Let's see here. Okay, full screen. Okay, 66 minutes, the happenings on 66 minutes. This is where I discuss with everybody the different contributions from viewers like you who have posted in the 66 Minutes Facebook group. And of course, the first picture I'm showing right there is from Gary.
Go out on here.
What's that, John?
Oh, I'm still on?
Yeah.
I'll keep my mouth shut.
I'll mute you there. Okay. All right. So Gary is posting the Painted Desert Trading Post, and we've been getting a lot of visitors out there. And it's it's nice to see people out there and enjoying it, taking pictures of it. That was a good one. This picture, honestly, from Lance Ortiz, was my favorite of the week. This is in Texola, Oklahoma. This is on the south side of the road there, right at an intersection, just one of the last intersections you come to before leaving Oklahoma and going into Texas. I don't know much about this. Guys, you know anything about this gas station? Joe?
Not very much, no.
Nolan?
The north, I don't know too much about the station, but that north-south street was the major road in Texola that led up to the original business district where the railroad tracks were and everything. So this would have been a very popular intersection.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. So that's a really nice photo. I like the black and white sometimes, especially when there's heavy contrast. That's a great photo. That was my favorite. Kathy brings to us one of our favorites. I know probably all of us here agree about John's Modern Cabins. It's definitely one of our favorite destinations. What do you guys think?
It is. It's the best out of all the places.
Yep.
I've probably been going there every year since 2012, every summer, and slowly seeing it,
Yeah.
do what it's doing.
Yeah, that's the last remaining cabin. I'm gonna say that photo was probably taken in about 2020 because I can see where we closed off the entrance to the front of the cabin there. It's sad that that's the last remaining cabin, and it's only 2/3 of the way there left. You know what I mean?
That's part of what makes it so poignant, I think, is that we've watched it fade slowly over the years. And, well, you better get out there and photograph it now because it won't be with us much longer.
Yeah, that's what Emily Pretty and Ron Warnick said back in the early 2000s. They said, photo these while they're here. The wrecking ball is looming near. And that was on those makeshift Burma shave signs they provided for everybody. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool of Ron and Emily to do. There was some other contributions. The Missouri Show Me 66 on Main Street. Paula provided some videos of that. I've not yet watched that movie. I have the movie, but I haven't watched it yet. But she, unbeknownst to me, the Shamrock had quite a cameo appearance in that video. Joe, weren't you interviewed in that video?
Yeah, and despite that, it's worth watching.
You talking about Wanko's video?
Yeah,
I think it is, isn't it?
There are.
Yeah.
Yep. And they
No.
went first class.
Rich, you didn't watch it because you're not interviewed. There's no reason to be jealous. Just watch it. It's an Emmy Award-winning documentary. It's very good.
It does look very good, and I'll provide some explanation as to why I probably wasn't interviewed or considered for anything of that. Was because the president of the Missouri Route 66 Association at the time had a vendetta against me. So anyway, Doc Hud was it what? I forgot his real name. Doc Hud Pro. He changes his name like every couple weeks. What is his real name?
Who is Doc Hud Pro?
Oh gosh, he's been on there for a couple years now, and he makes these real funny cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, okay, the Snoopy cartoon.
Yeah.
I don't know his real name.
He's changed it a bunch because I think Facebook messed with them, and you know how Facebook is with people. If they're too creative, they gotta squelch them.
Well,
Yeah. So, but I always enjoy his antics and his cartoons and stuff. And then there's Dave Sullivan taking pictures of the Gemini Giant, although I'm going to guess that's an older photo.
Yep, because the car ain't there.
Well, it sounds like the car's been gone like the last 2 weeks or so. So
okay, well, good.
Yeah.
Maybe it's hard to say because I see a Pontiac G6 in the background. So I don't know. You don't see too many Pontiac G6s anymore. Other than that, we got some images of Efren Lopez, and this is a good one. This is from Corey Hapgood. This is the Coleman Theater organ. What can you tell us about this Nolan? I've seen it firsthand. I've seen it played firsthand. How about you?
I didn't hear it when I was there, but we did, take a look at it and everything. Same 1920s organs and massive pipes everywhere. A lot of these organs, they're a lot different than the ones you find in churches. There's a certain type of pipe that theater organs use that church organs don't. It wouldn't be really appropriate for churches. And plus there's like sound effects you find on these organs and percussion. You might have like a xylophone or some orchestra bells. All can be controlled by. It's pretty incredible technology for 1920s if you really think about it.
Well, I've seen it play in person. I've recorded it, and it's pretty awesome. That's all I can say. I don't have much technical understanding of organs or any other musical instrument, but it's pretty amazing to watch it in action.
The one on 66 in downtown Joliet is absolutely incredible. I got to play it a little bit, but I did get to hear it and all the different stops. And they have it's antiphonal, so you've got pipes on this side of the theater and this side. So then you've got like a xylophone over here and flute sounds over. It's just this all-encompassing sound, pretty incredible of the same era. It's the Rialto and Joliet.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible.
Yeah, Sam Murray, he reports that it, and I remember hearing about this. The people that went back and restored the Coleman Theater, they fought to find that organ. It had been sold and removed from the theater, and they got it back.
Same thing with Circle Cinema in Tulsa. See what happens with most of these theaters, once talkies came in 1929, there really wasn't use for them anymore. So people, these theaters that had, these were like $1 million of our time, worth. So like extreme money that they're putting into investment. And then all of a sudden, a few years go by, it's essentially worthless. So they were selling them to all sorts of people, and who knows what ended up. So it's pretty amazing that Rialto still has theirs, and Coleman got theirs back, and Circle's got theirs back.
It's
amazing.
I'm very happy to see the history put back in place. If only people would take the same position with neon signs, right?
Right.
Yeah, put them back where they came from. Go ahead and restore them, but leave them in their native environment. Don't pluck them out and haul them off to a warehouse where only a select amount of people can see them. I just feel so strongly against the removal of neon signs, putting them in private museums and private collections. So yeah, I'm glad to see the organs back in their respective theaters. One last image from Laura Peral. This is the Magic Lamp in California, Rancho Cucamonga, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And she had some other images in here, but I don't see where she had those. But that's a place that I have not patronized. Never had a chance to go in there and get any food or anything. But from what I understand, it's closed. How long has it been closed for? Nolan, you probably have a pretty good idea.
Which one is
this? This is the Magic Lamp.
Maybe just a few months.
Yeah, I don't think it's been closed.
I don't think it's been closed. No, I ate there last year. This summer I didn't go, but I did eat there last. Yeah, I feel like it's only been closed for a few months.
Well, yeah, that's a bummer. I would love to see it open again. I know it probably has one of the most unique neon signs on Route 66 that actually has a flamethrower built into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. They actually can light the torch up on the lantern. That's pretty cool. Well, I've got to the segment of the show where usually I do the tip of the week. And so I had no idea, for the viewers out there, that I was going to have this many participants online. And so I'm going to do like a little share and tell here right now. And I'm going to start with Nolan and go and end with Elizabeth. What would your tip of the week be to all the Route 66 roadies and enthusiasts and tourists out there be? What would you recommend?
I would recommend take as much time as you can. Rather than trying to do the whole route in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, why don't you spend 3 weeks in one state or one section and try different things and kind of going what you're what you always say, go your own way. Like, yes, it's great to have the easy guide, and I have that with me, and I have all of books with me, and I use that for context, but then I go, okay, what would interest me? So I think doing your research of what would interest you and then go seek those things out. I think it makes it more special and unique to you.
Yeah.
Good one. What about you, Joe?
Stay cool. Let me tell you, it's brutal out there. And now that heat dome is moving into the St. Louis area, and they're telling us now to be bracing for it. So if you are traveling this next week or so, be careful, know what you're doing, stay the heck away from Death Valley, stay hydrated, and stay in the shade if you can. Just be careful, know the symptoms, know when too much is too much.
Yeah, over my shoulder here is my old desert water bag. People should maybe think about strapping one of those onto the mirror of their car or something.
Yeah, I mowed grass today, and no.
John, you got any tips for people on Route 66? You're muted, John, and I don't have you muted. It's on your end. Oh, you're still muted. He's still muted. All right, Elizabeth, I'm going to skip to you.
Okay. Well, I have two things here. Now, one, I believe in like spontaneity is like you say, just go your own way. I have a plan, but don't feel like you need to stick to that rigid plan. You know,
That's a good
break
one.
free, you find something, you know, don't be afraid to just do it. You know, what kind of fun is it when you're trying to get somewhere by such and such time at night because your itinerary says you have to? So, no, that's, but the other, and I've been telling a lot of people this lately, is to figure out, learn who like the reliable, trusted sources are when it comes to Route 66 and get your questions answered by them. The amount of misinformation and fear mongering about so many of our fabulous places on the route is really pissing me off lately. And I say it especially as a St. Louis city dweller who is very proud of my city. It really bothers me the amount of things I see people say about St. Louis and about Tulsa and about other cities that are just fabulous. And if you listen to those people who don't know what the hell they're talking about, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. So
I agree. And to add to that, so no matter what major metropolitan area you go into, you're going to find some blight. You're going to find some dark areas that are not friendly to tourists. Everybody's got their bad sides, but even just last week, and I'm going to try to, we're over a minute and a half over our 66 minutes, but just last week when I was meeting with some people, they turned me on to a place in St. Louis I'd never heard of called the Missouri Athletic Club. It's an old vintage building that's been restored and rehabbed, and it's a very affordable, high-end, upscale hotel in downtown St. Louis, just a few blocks away from the Arch. And it's just things like that. I would tell people when you hear of somebody doing a Route 66 trip, I just randomly, literally, I'm not fibbing. There was a guy today. I was doing some overstock surplus buyout stuff. I was looking at buying some fixtures for the Shamrock from a store that was closing. And this guy that's in charge of it, he just says, I got to get this store closed and get out of here. I got a Route 66 trip planned. I said, what? Get out of here. And so I told him, I was like, because he says he's got 4 days to go from here to California. I said, well, you're going to see the tip of the iceberg, the very tip top. But I gave him a few things to check out based on the cities and towns he was going to. And I didn't overload him with a bunch of information, but I hyped him up with a bunch of positive stuff. And maybe that's the message that we should be getting across to people is spread a positive word about Route 66. Talk about the positive stuff. And you can go anywhere in the world and find something to be fearful of. But the point is to get out there and adventure and find new moments in life and new memories, in my opinion.
Mhm.
John, are you with us again? You're still muted. I don't know what happened. Let me hold on just a second. Mute, unmute. Let's see here. Try it again. No, I don't have anything, sir. Technical difficulties. I apologize, John. I don't know if it's on my end or your end, but Anyway, I'm at 109 minutes. That means I'm almost 4 minutes over. Thank you, everybody that participated tonight. Please think about donating. Get that finger at the right place. Click on that code to donate to the show. Again, it costs a pretty good amount of money to put it on. The software and everything involved is expensive. Special thanks to Nolan Stoltz, Joe Sonnerman, Elizabeth Olwig, John Lobin, and Elizabeth on his end, and Stephen for tuning in tonight. And thank you all the different participants that put questions and comments out there. There are some comments out there talking about the magic lamp that we discussed, and that they're in the middle of redoing it and going to reopen it soon. You can find a lot of those comments in our Facebook group, 66 Minutes with Roamin Rich.
Might be
I
fixed.
had that QR code up there earlier.
Virtual mic. That might have fixed it.
There he is. John came back on at the last second.
Yeah, I fixed some settings here. One thing I wanted to see is if you guys can hear this video.
John, I got to cut you off, man. I'm at the end of the show, but thanks, guys.
Me afterwards, if you can.
Post it in the group, and we'll see you guys later. All right, just a second here. Okay, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to share the show. Sorry for going over. I hope you thought it was entertaining. And as always, go your own way. See you guys down the road.